Broadcasting on Sports Radio America and Spreaker.com, this is What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. I'm your Game Master, Josh Scheibe, the man who normally, at this point in the show, would make a joke. However, if you'll oblige me, I'd like to be sentimental for just a brief moment. Last night, I had the pleasure of attending the live broadcast in Milwaukee of a Prairie Home Companion, hosted by Garrison Keillor. This was his last Milwaukee show before he retires, and it was an experience that I'll never forget. Mr. Keillor, your humor, your gentility, your voice, and your immense storytelling ability have inspired creatives and radio personalities across America and around the globe. On behalf of all of us, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be your Prairie Home Companions. And now that all that sweet stuff is over, here's a man with a syrupy voice, your host at the BLC Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Baxter Colburn!
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. We've got a very exciting show for you in store today, but we also have a great announcement to make as well regarding What's the Score. On March 18th, we'll be hitting the road and going to Germantown, Wisconsin, and we will be live at Crossway Church for their annual Men's March Madness event. If you love March Madness basketball and sports news quizzes, you can come on out to Crossway Church from 6:30 to 8 p.m. on Friday, March 18th. Play our games, take a selfie with Game Master Scheibe, catch some great food, basketball, and What's the Score action.
Before we welcome in our first contestant, we'd like to encourage all of you to go check out our social media pages. On Facebook, you can find us at What's the Score, and on Twitter and Instagram at WTS Sports Quiz.
If you'd like to play our games on air, you can email us at WTSSportsQuiz@gmail.com or visit our social media pages and click on the pin post at the top of each page.
If you ever miss a show, you can find it on Spreaker.com and the Spreaker app, iTunes, the College Tailgate, the Sports Quotient, and on Stitcher. Just type What's the Score in the search bar and click on the latest episode. Also, if you think this show is worth at least $1, why not donate to our Patreon account? Just search What's the Score and donate today.
Let's meet our panelist this week. First up, he is the editor-in-chief for SportsJudgeJury.com and an avid Wisconsin sports fan. It's Nick Zurich.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Glad to be back, and hopefully I can duke it out with these other fine contestants.
Looking forward to it, Nick. Next up, a diehard Milwaukee Brewers, Green Bay Packers, and Colorado Avalanche fan. It's Chuck Kreckel.
Thank you so much for having me.
And finally, the voice of the Racine Raiders, MATC, and Alverno College, and the man that hopes to one day rid the world of the evil asparagus, Don Wadewitz.
Thank you. Asparagus must die.
Welcome to the show, panel. As you know, we've got some new faces this week, which always makes for a good time, Game Master Scheibe.
Indeed. Well, panel, we thought about giving you easy questions for your segments of the show, but we realized that we didn't want to be as easy as intercepting A.J. Cutler pass, so we ramped things up this week.
It's time to get the show on the road by playing our first contestant game. Joining us on the phone to play Quotable Context is Burke Griffin from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Welcome to the show, Burke.
Hey, fellas. Did you say Don Wadewitz, the Racine Raiders broadcaster?
That would be him, sir. Would you like to say hi?
Oh, I go back to the days of the Racine Gladiators.
Indeed. I'll have to talk to you in the process of writing a book on the history of the team, so.
There you go.
Well, now that we've got two great minds in the same room, anything could possibly happen. All right, Burke, you're going to be playing our game called Quotable Context. Game Master Scheibe will read you 5 quotes from this week's news, and you must correctly identify the context of each quote. Correctly answer 3 out of 5 questions, and you will win our prize, a What's the Score t-shirt. If you get stuck on a question, you are allowed to ask one panelist for help on only one question, so make sure you choose wisely. Are you ready to play, sir?
I am ready.
All right, here is your first clue.
I'd love to fight myself if I really could. Imagine the numbers that one would do if there was only 2 of me.
That was what UFC 196 fighter telling the media his brilliant idea of how to make the fighting world a lot of money. It's just unfortunate that he can't clone himself.
I would assume Conor McGregor.
Yes, you are correct. The accent is on point. Conor McGregor, for those that don't know, did lose last night to Nate Diaz in UFC 196 in the second round. Spoiler alerts, I'm so sorry. It's not as bad as like House of Cards or something like that, but we won't get into that. Anyway, here is your second clue, Burke.
He's doing things we've never seen before. He's doing things I haven't seen him do before.
That was Del Curry commenting on the play of what explosive and honestly ridiculous NBA player who also happens to be his son.
Should we pronounce it Stephen or Steph Curry?
Either way would be acceptable in our book. That is correct. Nicely done. Steph Curry doing things that even the video game world doesn't know how to put into proper perspective. He has been changing the game of basketball, but folks are wondering if it will actually last or not.
Yeah, I actually heard, I think it was Shaq that was talking about how they want to move the three-point line back
That's what I've heard,
make
yeah.
it more fair, which ultimately I think would just give Steph an even larger advantage because he's converting at like 50% from 40 feet or something.
It's ridiculous,
like that.
his number of deep shots. All right, here is your next question, Burke.
We would change on the way to practice, and we would unchange on the way home from practice.
That was Super Bowl MVP Von Miller saying that when he was growing up, he had to hide the fact that he played football from what family member?
Boy, I would think that is his... He was saying that in reference to hiding football from his father, so that would be a conversation with his mother.
Well,
right?
Flip it back. Yeah, so who was he hiding playing football from?
Oh, he was hiding it from his dad.
Yes, yep, that is correct. Yeah, usually you hear stories like this where, the dad and the son are hiding football from the mom because they don't want you to play or, concussions and all that. But this, for some reason, Von Miller was the exception to the rule. But I feel like it turned out fairly well for him. So a good thing for his mom taking him to practice. All right, here is your next quote, Burke.
The funniest thing just happened to me in Redmond. I went to go get info on a gym that was closed, and 2 ladies called the cops on me.
That was what Seattle Seahawks defensive player on Twitter this week.
Oh, I remember reading that. Did you say you can ask for help or you can ask?
You can ask for help. You can either ask Nick, Chuck, or Don if you'd like a hint.
Boy, no, you're going to make me pick. They're going to be mad if I leave one of them out. Let's go with Nick.
Nick, okay, Nick. What can you do to help our friend Burke with a question?
Sure,
with a hint?
He plays the same position as HaHa Clinton Dix and is also tall like him.
Cam Chancellor?
Yes, that is correct.
I couldn't remember which guy it was, but all right, good.
Yep,
good.
Cam Chancellor. Yeah, interesting thing, Chancellor, for those that don't know, runs a fitness club in the off-season and was running around trying to check out some new places, trying to find a home base, and just was peering into a gym that was closed that he wanted to buy, and 2 ladies spotted him and called the cops on him, and thankfully the cops came and he worked it out with them because he says he has a good relationship with the police, in whatever context you want to take that with, but he does, and he was able to, I think, purchase the gym. All right, this is exciting, Brick. Let's see if we can go for perfect. Here is your final quote.
Obama.
That was the new nickname President Obama was using, as he's been calling himself after what college team keeps coming to the White House after they keep winning championships?
Oh, can you say that again? What was that first part you said?
Yep, here it is one more time.
Obama.
Crimson Tide.
Yes, the Crimson Tide from Alabama. Yes, they have been there several times since President Obama took office, and they're becoming a household staple. I think Washington might actually try to buy Alabama and make them the new Washington Redskins because they've had a lot more success than the Redskins have. Game Master Scheibe, how did Burke do on our quiz?
He got 5 out of 5 correct. He's a winner.
Nicely done. Congratulations.
Looks like we're heading to our first break now, but when we come back, our panelists will have their first crack at showcasing their knowledge of this week's sports news. You're listening to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz on Sports Radio America and Spreaker.com.
Hey everyone, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz.
And I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe.
If you enjoy listening to What's the Score, we encourage you to go and listen to us on all the different platforms that we're available on. You can find us on Spreaker.com,
Sports Radio America,
The Sports Quotient,
Stitcher,
and on iTunes as well. Go and download our podcast today and let us know your thoughts. A review never hurt anybody. Hey guys, this is Baxter, the host of What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. Want to take a minute to remind all of you to go and check us out on social media. You can find us on Facebook at What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz, on Twitter at WTS Sports Quiz, and on Instagram at WTS Sports Quiz as well. And if you enjoy the whole hashtag game, like some of us like to do, hashtag goals, hashtag believer, hashtag, I don't know, I'm running out of hashtags. Anyway, use the hashtag What's the Score on Twitter and Instagram and check out some of the other exclusive content that we do as well. Connecting all of us one smartphone at a time.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe. This week, our panelists are Nick Zurich, Chuck Kreckel, and Don Wadewitz. And now, here's your host of the BOC Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Baxter Colburn.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks, everybody. Quick reminder for all of you listeners out there to go and check out two of our partners of the show, the College Tailgate and the Sports Quotient. You can go find great articles about the sports world from the best up-and-coming journalists.
Time now for our panelists to showcase their knowledge about this past week's sports news.
Nick, time for a question for you, sir. There is a new breed of ball boy at the Brazil Open. Who are these new ball retrievers?
Ooh, I'm going to need a hint if that's possible.
Hint. Let's just say they're not human.
I'll go with, then, a man's best friend, a dog?
Yes, that is correct. 4 former street dogs dutifully waited alongside the tennis court during 2 internationally ranked players participating in an exhibition match down in Sao Paulo. The pups' jobs were to play ball boy. As soon as the ball would hit the net or go astray, they would send them out quickly and grab them. It's all a part of the movement to raise adoption awareness down in Sao Paulo.
Great.
Don, forget the last of the Mohicans. It's now the last of the Montreal Expos. After Mysera's tourists retired this week, who is the only active MLB player that once played for the dead franchise?
Oh, man. I'm going to need a hint on that one.
You need a hint. Let's just say there's a couple things. Number 1, he's a pitcher, and number 2, he's probably the funniest person to watch try to bat in Major League Baseball as well, because he shouldn't be batting because he's a little too big to be batting. He's also the name of something that you'd spray on your body to make you smell really nice.
Oh, no, it's not. Moises isn't a pitcher. Alu, close enough.
That is true. You're close. Men usually wear this, not women.
Cologne.
What, do you have a first name?
No.
I'll give it to you with Cologne.
He was not on my fantasy baseball team.
So there we go. Bartolo Cologne. Yes, we'll give it to him.
I was trying to stay at 0.
Yes, Bartolo Colon, apparently, the last one played for the Montreal Expos. And I've heard rumors, though, that Montreal might get a team back eventually because they missed having a baseball team. And their only claim to fame right now is the Montreal Canadiens, which is a hockey team that no one cares about, really, and the Montreal Impact, who follows Major League Soccer. Anyway, speaking of soccer, Chuck, a question for you. I had to work one into the panel this week. U.S. women's soccer legend Brandi Chastain said that she plans to do what once she dies?
I'm not sure. Can I get a clue, please?
You'd have to use your head because other people want to figure out what you thought about.
I am not sure.
You're not sure?
Mm-mm.
Something that you hear a lot about that people decide to do once they die. They want to, you're not using your body anymore, so.
Donate. What is it?
A certain part of it.
Yes,
certain part of your body. Yes, donate your brain. Yes. Yeah, she plans to donate her brain to cancer research, and she played soccer. I don't know what they study. Anyway,
you're only interested in her body, Baxter.
Anyway,
can I say that?
You did, so we're gonna keep it. It's totally fine. Yeah, she plans to donate her brain to concussion research. As you know, Brandi Chastain was the famed soccer player that scored that winning penalty kick and then ripped her shirt off and was like, "Yeah, on the ground, it's radio. You can't see me doing what I just did." Either way, you get the general idea of it. So she wants to help future CTE research as well. So very notable and honorable thing for her to do.
Well, we're heading to a break, but when we come back, our second contestant will have a chance to identify some imposters. Don't go away. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz on Spreaker.com and Sports Radio America.
Hey everyone, this is your host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn.
And I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. On our break, we'd like to take a moment to thank one of our sponsors, Ticket Liquidator. Ticket Liquidator is one of the world's biggest online ticket marketplaces.
When you call Ticket Liquidator, you can find sold-out tickets to the biggest events on the planet. They offer a huge selection of tickets at 15% lower cost than their competitors. Their fantastic call center has live agents available 7 days a week. Call them today at 855-839-7889.
Ticket Liquidator is a multiple award-winning company, including Deloitte's Fast 500's fastest-growing company in Connecticut. Call today and find tickets to the next big game. Call 855-839-7889 to have access to over 4 million tickets to over 83,000 events worldwide. That number again is 855-839-7889. Hey guys, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the sports news quiz. Did you know that you can listen to us on a lot of different platforms now? Yes, you can. Go and check us out on Spreaker.com. You can download our podcast on Stitcher and on the iTunes App Store. You can also find us on thesportsquotient.com and on sportsradioamerica.com as well. Just about anywhere that you can look for great radio programming, you can find What's the Score, the sports news quiz. Go and check us out today and tell your friends.
Hello all, and welcome back to the BLC studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is What's the Score, the sports news quiz. I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master. We've got some great panelists this week, Chuck Kreckel, Don Wadewitz, and Nick Zurich, and they'll have the opportunity to show their prowess in just a little bit. Before that, though, here's the host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn.
Thank you, Josh. Coming up, we put our panelists to the test in our Name 5 Panelist Showdown. If you would like to play our games on air, why not shoot us an email at wtsportsquiz@gmail.com or click on the links to our contestant form on our Facebook and Twitter pages.
Playing our next game, which we've decided to call Pasta or Player, is Liz Colburn. Welcome to the show, Liz.
Thanks so much for allowing me to be here.
You're very welcome, Liz. This is very interesting. Not only are you the executive director of What's the Score, you're also my beautiful, wonderful wife. So this is fun. We finally get to do a little interacting on the air.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. All right. So, Liz, as you know, any follower of the soccer world knows that there's a lot of Italian players that have some incredibly interesting last names out there. Also, anyone that has ever had a nice bowl of pasta realizes that this truth is true for some other wonderful, yummy dishes as well.
Or an Italian husband.
Or an Italian husband as well, except when his mother marries an American, and then you just lose the Italian last name, and just everyone's like, you're Italian?
It would be more fun to have the Italian last name, but I'll take Colburn. Okay.
We're not going to get into this on the air. Anyway.
Hey, this is what happens when you allow your wife on air.
That is true.
I
am not responsible. We signed a waiver. Anyway, so you're going to be playing your game, as Game Master Scheibe said, Pasta or Player, in which we will give you 5 sets of 2 names.
Okay.
One of them is a delicious Italian pasta. The other is an Italian soccer player.
Correctly answer 3 out of 5 questions, and you'll win our prize, a What's the Score t-shirt. If you get stuck on a question, you are allowed to ask one panelist for help, but you can only do that one time, so make sure you choose wisely. Are you ready to play?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Fantastic. All right, here is your first question. Fusilli and Bergomi. Which one is a pasta? Which one is a player?
Can you say that one more time?
Fusilli and Bergomi.
I'm going to say fusilli is the pasta.
Yes, which means Bergomi is the player. Correct. All right, here we go. Here's your next one. Camoranesi and gnocchi.
Gnocchi is the pasta. It's one of my favorites.
That is correct, yes. And Camoranesi is the player. All right, let's see if we can go 3 for 3. Pappardelle and Albertini.
Albertini is the player.
That is correct. All right, nicely done. 3 for 3. My goodness. All right, let's see if we can go 4 for 4.
Okay.
Vermicelli and Chiellini.
Can you say them one more time?
Yes, Vermicelli and Chiellini.
Chiellini is the player.
That is correct. And one more for you. Rigatoni and Gnoccherino.
Rigatoni is the pasta.
Yes, look at that. Game Master Scheibe, how did Liz do on our quiz?
Liz got 5 out of 5 correct. She's a winner.
Wow, nicely done.
Thanks. I do have to add, though, that I was saying the pastas first, and I had to make sure that I threw in a couple of the players first to make my husband happy. I tried to switch the game a little bit. I was a little worried, but thanks so much for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for playing. Hey, panel, some more questions for you wonderful folks. Don, there's an impupster afoot. Well, at least that's what's being rumored about what Major League Baseball team's signature dog.
Oh, that would be Milwaukee's own brew crew.
Yes,
Milwaukee Brewers.
That is correct. After a blogger suggested that the Brewers' iconic pup, Hank the dog, was different in a lot of recent pictures, the team held an official press conference and showed medical records to prove that he's still the same Hank that we all know and love. How is there a conspiracy theory about a dog? I'm a little confused by that.
If you look at how the Brewers did that year, I think the conspiracy theory really writes itself, and this is going to be a Hollywood movie before it's done.
I really hope so. It's like, Hank the dog, is he real or not?
I actually believe Netflix picked up a documentary piece on him.
We already did Making a Murderer. Now it's going to be Making a Hank.
Making it in Pupster.
Chuck, this week we learned that cyclists in Australia had to stop a recent ride to do what? Because it was flagging them down.
Ooh. Can I get a hint, please?
Let's see. It is a native animal to Australia. It's also very cute and cuddly. You could probably cuddle with them if you'd want to, but I wouldn't recommend it because they have sharp claws.
Oh, something was crossing the street. I don't know. Bears crossing the street?
Ooh, you're very close. What type of bear? This is another...
Koala bears.
Yes!
All right.
Yes, that is correct. Nicely done. Yeah, apparently some cyclists were going, and a koala was hanging out on one of those metal grates on the side of the road and was waving at him, so they stopped to say hi and whatever, and apparently he gestured that he wanted some water, so they gave him some water, and he's on his way. He also gestured for the six-pack that he had in his well, but they didn't give him that. But anyway, Nick, question for you, sir. The Ivy League, very prestigious. Love the Ivy League, Harvard, Yale, all those wonderful boys up there. Is implementing what preventative measure during football practices this upcoming season?
I believe no tackling in practices.
That is correct. That's very interesting. The 8 Ivy League coaches unanimously approved the measure last week, and the decision is expected to adopt formally once it is affirmed by the league's athletic directors and all those exciting people. They're already trying to reduce the amount of contact that happens during spring practice, and now they want to completely eliminate it during the regular season practices as well.
So it seems that everybody in the Ivy League, at least, is just going to put on the red shirt like the quarterbacks.
Yes,
and
it's going to be flag football in practice.
And they're actually preparing for the NFL.
Yeah, good point.
Exactly, yes. I'm curious, though, to get your guys' thoughts about this, though. Do you think that not doing any tackling at all during practices is a good idea and just saving it for game days?
I think it'll hurt the product of the field, or product on the field.
It's the Ivy League, so I'm a little,
Yeah, as far as the research goes, the assumption is that they did it, their due diligence of it, but it might be safer, but I still think the product on the field will suffer because a lot of that reactionary movement isn't going to be as reactionary as before.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I'm very curious to know what's going to happen.
Yeah, hits will be it's very confusing because when they get on the field, once they start hitting, now they're going to be a lot more sloppy. It's going to be a lot of missed tackles.
It's going to look like a Packers secondary.
There you go.
Am I wrong? Is anybody going to defend the fact that the Packers can't tackle?
It hurts because it's true.
Oh, exactly.
Too close.
There's one aspect that's going to say it's going to make them hungrier when they go out on the field, but it's also you're still learning, and if you're not practicing tackling in a safe environment of your practice, then I think you're going to find that you're going to have more people potentially getting hurt on the field in live action.
Exactly. I'm curious to see just how this all plays out this season.
Well, it's time for another break, but don't worry. We'll be right back, and our panelists will have another chance to answer some questions about this week's sports news. You're listening to What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz, broadcasting on Sports Radio America and Spreaker.com.
Hey everyone, Baxter Colburn here for What's the Score? The Sports News Quiz. Want to take a moment to thank one of our sponsors, Sports Radio America. Go and check out sportsradioamerica.com today to find the latest shows about the sports world. You can listen to What's the Score on their network. You can also catch great shows like Pros in the Paint, Sunday Gridiron, the College Credit Hour, 2 Up Front, the BG Sports Show, and oh so much more. Go and check them out today, sportsradioamerica.com. We appreciate their support and yours as well. Hey everyone, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the sports news quiz.
And I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe.
If you think you are smart enough, or smarter than a 5th grader, and want to play our games on air, you can either come by the studio or you can call us, but there's a few different ways you can get a hold of us.
If you'd like to email us, you can do so at WTSSportsQuiz@gmail.com.
Or for you social media savants, head over to Facebook, What's the Score, the sports news quiz, or Twitter, WTS Sports Quiz. Now back to the action with myself and Josh Scheibe.
Welcome back to What's the Score, the sports news quiz. And thanks for listening in. We're broadcasting from the BLC studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe. We're playing this week with Don Wadewitz, Nick Zurich, and Chuck Kreckel. And here, once again, is your host of What's the Score, Baxter Colburn.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. As we continue to move on with our show, we want to remind all of you that you can find our show on Spreaker.com, on iTunes, and on Stitcher. Just give us a listen and maybe write us a review if you'd be so kind as well. It's now time for our last slate of questions for our panel this week. Chuck, you drew the short straw this week, and you get 2 soccer questions, so my apologies about that.
I thought this was a sports show.
Ooh.
Josh, hold me back. Hold me back. All right, Chuck. A recent soccer match in Germany had to be delayed because one of the team benches had what thrown into it?
Ooh. Can I get a hint, please?
Semi-drivers usually put these on the road so that way people know where they are when they're pulled off to the side of the road.
Yep. I can't think of the word.
Or if you're stranded, you have a little gun and you shoot it
flares.
up. Yes,
Yes,
a flare. Somebody threw a flare from like one of the upper decks, landed right inside the team bench. I don't know how they got the right angle on it, but no one was hurt, thankfully. But the Cleveland Browns have reached out to the fan and offered him a new contract. There's no signage if he's signed or not.
Clearly it was an avid Angry Birds player.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nick, last week it was exotic cars. Now this week, New York Mets Yoenis Cespedes decided to come to spring training and brought what new ride to practice?
I'm going to need a hint.
He referenced the John Wayne film and rode into town the same way that Jared Allen retired.
On a horse and carriage?
Just on a horse, yes. Apparently one of the Mets pitchers thought it would be a funny joke and mentioned it to Cespedes, and then he actually came to practice the next day on a horse.
Was it Bartolo Colon that gave him the horse?
He was riding Bartolo Colon,
actually. Because he is roughly the size.
About the same size. I think he might outweigh
he is that big.
Yeah, no kidding.
As long as he's not swinging at the plate.
All right, Don, last question goes to you. Braden Shen scored a hat trick for the Philadelphia Flyers this week, and as per tradition, fans threw their hats onto the ice. However, one 80-year-old woman decided to throw what onto the ice to show her excitement?
Was she fully in her faculties, or did she have some sort of Alzheimer's or something of that?
No, to our knowledge, she seemed like she was a well put together lady.
I'm going to need a hint on this one, Baxter.
Well, let's just say it's something that keeps a certain part of your body propped up if you're a female, and she just was super excited and let it go.
Well, she's 80, so there could be 2 different things there. But I will go with her bra.
Yes, to be more specific, she had a leopard print bra. Now, so many questions arise though when this happens. I mean, did she know that there was going to be a hat trick that night? Did she remove the bra in the crowd when all the excitement was going on? Because she had a full hockey jersey on. So anybody that's ever worn a hockey jersey, how do you take a bra off?
I want to go back to what I said, my original question. Maybe she was wearing the bra as a hat, or maybe she needed to hold her chin up and was somehow using the bra in that way.
That is possible, yeah. See, I'm a little confused by that. Apparently, though, this is not as bad as somebody in New Hampshire. A guy threw a fish onto the ice after a hat trick was scored over in the University of New Hampshire. So at hockey during hat tricks, we don't do this in soccer for anybody that's ever wondered. We don't throw hats or shoes or cleats. We just throw flares and rocks and tennis balls at them. So much more enjoyable that way, honestly. Batteries, yeah, cars. We just throw anything.
Well, folks, it's time for me to break up the fun once again, but when we come back, we'll have a barrel of laughs with this week's final contestant playing a new game called Ha Ha Ho Ho or Hee Hee. We'll be back in just a bit, so don't go away. This is What's the Score, the sports news quiz, broadcasting on Spreaker.com and Sports Radio America.
Hey guys, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the sports news quiz. If you enjoy listening to What's the Score, why not go and donate to our Patreon account today? That's patreon.com. Search for What's the Score and donate today. You can get awesome t-shirts, before the show shout-outs, and so much more. Tell your friends about us. Hey, if you donate, we'd be happy to give you a shout-out and even have you come on the show and play a game or two with us as well. Hey everyone, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the sports news quiz. Want to take a moment to let all of you know that if you enjoy listening to What's the Score, you can find us on thesportsquotient.com. Go and check out thesportsquotient.com. Check out and see how you stack up against the rest of the sports world by taking one of their S quizzes. You can also check out the Fantasy Guru section, and for those of you stat geeks out there, they've got plenty of things for you. Plus, check out all the other great content that they have on their podcast section, like this very show right here, What's the Score? Attention all sports radio fans, yes, I'm talking to you. Go and check out the official sponsor of What's the Score, the sports news quiz. That would be Sports Radio America. If you enjoy all kinds of great sports talk, go and check it out today. You can listen to the BG Sports Show, Sunday Gridiron, Pros in the Paint, Major League Diamond, College Credit Hour, 2 up front. Oh, and What's the Score, the sports news quiz. You're not going to want to forget about that. And for those of you that love ABA basketball, listen to their ABA on SRA Game of the Week right here on sportsradioamerica.com. And now, back to more What's the Score craziness.
Welcome back, everyone. This is What's the Score, the sports news quiz. I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master. Our Name 5 Panelist Showdown is coming up, but first we have our new game, Ha Ha Ho Ho or Hee Hee. Here to get the game going is your host of the BLC Studios here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Baxter Colburn.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. We just want to take a minute to remind everyone that our first live show is at Crossway Church in Germantown on March 18th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. It's part of their huge March Madness event held there every year. So come out, play some games, meet the staff, take a selfie with Game Master Scheibe if that's your thing, and have some great food and enjoy some sports as well.
Time now to welcome in our next contestant. Playing our next game is Zach Drapkin. Welcome to the show, Zach.
How's it going?
Well, very good, Zach. We're excited to have you here on the show today. All right, Zach, you're going to be playing our game called Ha Ha Ho Ho or Hee Hee. Well, Game Master Scheibe forgot to throw his little modulation in there. We'll be giving you 5 clues, and each clue connects to one of 3 possible answers. It'll either be Ha Ha Clinton Dix, the free safety for the Green Bay Packers, the Hostess brand Ho Ho Snacks, or Michael Jackson, who popularized the use of the phrase hee hee in his song, an exclamation of happiness or excitement. I know it's a little crazy, but hang tight and you will understand it soon. Answer 3 out of the 5 questions correctly, and you will win our prize, a What's the Score t-shirt. Game Master Scheibe, can you give Zach an example, please?
I can, Baxter. If I said is or was a well-known spokesman for Pepsi, the answer would be Michael Jackson.
It might have been a spokesperson as well. Make sense, Zach?
Yes.
All right. Well, here we go. Here is your first clue.
Born in 1952.
Michael Jackson.
That is correct. Nicely done. All right, here is your second clue. Helped to promote the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Can you repeat it?
Say that again. Yes, helped promote the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm going to say the snack.
That is correct. Yes, the Ho-Hos for the win. He's 2 for 2. All right, let's see if we can go for 3 for 3.
Collaborated with George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola on a 3D film.
Michael Jackson.
Yes, nicely done. Oh, goodness, sharp as a tack. He's going to steal your job, Game Master. All right, Zach, here is your 4th question. He was born in the city of Orlando, Florida.
Football player.
Yes, that is correct. All right, let's see if we can go for official 5 for 5 perfect. Here's your last clue.
Is or was 6 feet and 1 inch tall.
Football player.
Yes, that is correct. Awful tall for a safety, my goodness. Game Master Scheibe, how did Zach do on our game?
Zach got 5 out of 5 correct. Perfect score. He's a winner.
Congratulations, Zach.
The moment you've all been waiting for is almost here. Stick around and listen to our panelists duke it out on the Name 5 Panelist Showdown coming up right after the break. You're listening to What's the Score, broadcasting on Sports Radio America and Spreaker.com. Hello all, I'm Josh Scheibe, your game master here at What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. Thanks for listening in. I may not know much about sports, but what I do know about are our social media pages. Check us out on Facebook at What's the Score, or Twitter and Instagram at WTS Sports Quiz. Thanks very much for listening.
Hey everyone, this is Baxter Colburn, host of What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. Do you enjoy sports trivia just about as much as I do? Well, if you do, go and check out thesportsquotient.com, one of the many places that you can listen to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. Not only do they have a killer podcast section, but they have some of the best sports quizzes on the internet that I have ever seen. And I've seen a lot of things, especially in the sports world. Go and check it out today and see just how you stack up against the rest of the sports world. That is thesportsquotient.com.
Hi everyone, I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe.
And I'm your host, Baxter Colburn.
Hey, if you think the show is worth at least $1, why don't you go to our Patreon account?
We'd be very grateful if you donate to the show. That's how people like Josh and I stay employed, or pretend to be employed at least. Thank you so much for listening to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. And now, back to more sports trivia action.
I hope my check's in the mail. Yeah. Hello and welcome back. Thanks for listening to What's the Score, the Sports News Quiz. I'm your game master, Josh Scheibe. Our panelists have been warming up for their final showdown. I think I even saw Don throwing a bra around. I don't want to know where he got that. Anyway, while they scramble to return to their seats, here is your host at the BLC studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Baxter Colburn.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody. We've had a fantastic show today, and now we've come to the best part of the show where Josh comes out and sings a silly song. No, that's not it. It is time now for our Name 5 Panelist Showdown.
Our panelists will be given 4 topics in which they will have 10 seconds to name 5 people, teams, places, or things related to the sports world. Each panelist will have the same category. However, they cannot repeat answers. 1 point is awarded for each correct answer.
Game Master Scheibe, can you give us the scores, please?
Our 3 panelists are all tied with 3 points.
Oh, my.
Kosher
Don,
like a pickle.
Hey. And you were telling me this week that you didn't want to have any points.
I wanted to be like, so at the bottom, so eventually you're going to have to flip this on its head, and then I'd be at the top, and nobody would be able
like
to
golf
catch
score
me.
would be like least amount of points. Yeah. Well, I think you paid Game Master Scheibe enough money. That's why you're sitting by each other. You can just 20s under the table.
I'm glad those dimes worked out for you.
He's got a 20 in his pocket. Oh, gosh. All right. Well, round number 1, we'll start with Nick, and then we'll work our way down the panel that way. So round number 1, we'll be naming 5 current NFL quarterbacks. 10 seconds on the clock, Nick, and begin.
Aaron Rodgers, Brett Hundley, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Carson Palmer.
There we go. He got 5. Nicely done. All right, Chuck, you are next, sir. Are you ready?
All right, I am ready.
On your mark, get set, go.
Derek Carr, Brock Osweiler, Russell Wilson, Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
And
He got 4. All right, nicely done. Nice job. All right, Don, only 9 have been said. It's anybody that's a current NFL quarterback. Doesn't have to be starter, as long as they're on a roster that we know of. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. On your mark, get set, go.
I'm going with Peyton Manning. He's still legit. Jay Cutler. Andrew Luck. Not legit on Cutler. And yeah.
Oh, we got 3. That's all right. You still got 3.
Peyton Manning was already
That's what I
named,
thought. Okay, so we got
Oh.
2. So Don got 2. All right. It's all right.
Fists. Put up your dukes.
Curses you.
Asparagus.
Don the asparagus
My
Wadewitz.
kryptonite. My kryptonite.
All right, round number 2, we'll be starting with Chuck on this one.
All right.
You'll be naming 5 UFC fighters, male or female. Naming 5 UFC fighters, male or female. And that can be past or present. So you've got a fairly vast expanse to choose from. Whether or not you know those names, we'll find out. On your mark, get set, go.
Okay, Chuck Liddell, Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, and... Nope.
All right, you got 4. Nicely done. All right, Don. Up to you, sir. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And begin.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for listening to What's the Score? It's not a bore. Baxter Colburn at the lead, and I have no points. I need some greed.
All right. So thank you for that. That'll be our new promo that we're going to play. All right, Nick. Well, there's still a lot to choose from.
Yeah, I guess so.
A lot of options.
I'm hoping to get about 2.
Hey, whatever you got to do. I mean, are you ready?
I am.
Begin.
Holly Holm, Ken Shamrock from 94.
Sure.
Anthony Pettis.
Yeah.
And I can't remember any. Brock Lesnar.
Oh, Brock
Late.
Lesnar would have been a
It
good.
was
Yeah.
late,
Nick
yeah.
Diaz is the brother of Nate Diaz as well. That could have been an option.
Probably should have known my namesake.
It happens. So
okay.
he got 3.
You got
on that
3.
Hey,
one.
more than 2. All right.
That's fine. That's fine. You beat the spread.
You beat the spread. Over. Take the over.
Exactly. All right, we are going to go now to Don. You'll be naming 5 professional sports teams from California.
All right.
Professional sports teams from California, okay? On your mark, and begin.
San Diego Padres, Los Angeles Dodgers, Los Angeles Rams, Oakland Raiders, and and one came to my head. But
So we got 4. Okay, not bad. All right, Nick, back to you. Are you ready?
Okay, I am.
And begin.
San Francisco 49ers, Golden State Warriors, San Diego Padres, San Diego Chargers, LA Kings, Sacramento Kings.
That's 5. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, nicely done. Did you have one that you didn't?
I believe the Padres were said, were they
Did you
not?
say the Padres?
He said one of the 2. So
Okay,
Okay.
so, but he still said 6 anyway, so
Yep.
it levels out. So we got 5.
Yep.
So
All
I
right.
kept going.
All right, so there are 19 total names that you could have used, that you can use, Chuck. Obviously, we're down to 10 of them left, because 9 of them have been said. So, all right. No one said the soccer teams yet. All right.
Why?
how about bowling teams?
Bowling teams, yes.
Thursday night bar league softball teams, if they get paid.
Eric Burns played on a couple. I
Yeah,
think.
I'm good with that.
Oh, okay, here we go, Chuck. And begin.
San Francisco Giants, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yes.
I'm trying to think.
Some hockey teams in there, too.
I think
You only got 2. Okay,
Yeah.
not bad. You could have said the LA Galaxy, the San Jose Earthquakes, LAFC. I don't think anybody said the Anaheim Ducks.
Nope.
Nobody said the Clippers or the Lakers.
San Jose Sharks.
San Jose Sharks. And that might have been it. Other than that, you guys did a good job. All right, so Game Master Scheibe, as we go into our final round, what are the scores?
Don has 10 points, Chuck has 13, and Nick has 16.
Oh, my goodness. So Nick, once again, is shot ahead.
I can't win. Yes!
Well, Don, you get to go first, and you'll be naming 5 past or present U.S. soccer players, male or female.
I'm sorry,
10
I thought
seconds.
this was sports again. What?
Oh, this just happened to be what the categories were this week. You should be able to get at least one, I hope. 10 seconds and begin.
Bergomi, Cameronese, Albertini.
Was there Italian? There is an answer in your sheet somewhere, I think.
No. I just want to take this opportunity to thank my fine opponents today.
I feel like we should spot him a couple of points for how many times that he's complimented people today.
That and the effort.
I know.
Oh, that
Oh,
is-
Game Master Scheibe, take my bribey.
Jeez.
What's the score? Leopard print bras and bribes.
Just for that, you're not getting any more points.
Oh.
No,
All right,
okay.
Chuck. So Chuck is 3 behind Nick. if I'm
that's correct.
So you
And
need
is this male and female? Can it be
male
both?
and female,
All right,
yes.
cool.
Past or present. As we said, you have 3 to tie, and then more, obviously, so you want to try to get as many as you can. All right, 10 seconds and begin.
Brandy Chastain, Alex Morgan, Kobe Jones, Alexi Lalas, and Landon Donovan.
Yes, you got 5. Nicely done. Laylas. Lawless.
It is lawless.
Whatever. Everyone's like, oh, I know. All right, Nick, are you ready?
I am.
So what does Nick need, Game Master Scheibe?
Nick needs 2 points to tie and 3 to win.
Okay. On your mark, get set, go.
Mia Hamm, Jeremy Jones,
Jeremy Jones?
Jimmy Jones?
No.
Something Jones. He just
Jimmy
got traded.
Jones? No, it's not them. Keep
Oh, I
going.
might lose then. It's the only 2 that I know. I can't remember the speed demon.
Jermaine Jones is
Jermaine,
the other.
that's
Yes, Jermaine. Maybe he goes by Jimmy, but
No.
we're
You
not on that
You
kind of
need
level.
to go with Jackson 5.
Jackson.
and then you would have gotten to Jones eventually.
So,
No.
Game Master Scheibe, after the dust is settled, who is our winner?
That would be Chuck with 18 points.
Wow, nicely done, Chuck. Congratulations, Chuck, on your victory. First time on the panel, first time winner. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels just great. I mean, I have been here before
as
a contestant.
That
was a lot of fun, and obviously this is a lot of fun.
I know, and it's kind of ironic, too, because you worked with Nick as a contestant a couple weeks ago, and now you have dethroned Nick.
Yep. No, that's fine.
The apprentice becomes the master.
Yes. I froze on Clint Dempsey and couldn't get it out.
Oh, Clint Dempsey.
But then it would have tied, and we would have gone into
I had a good overtime
tiebreaker, and then I would have lost again, probably on a kicker question. Not holding it against anybody.
Tiebreaker question this week would have been NFL teams.
Kickers are people too, you know.
No, I know. It's fine. I just
keep
losing on them.
So, Nick, now you finished in second this week, so you've inherited the Mitch Vomhoff syndrome here on What's the Score. What were your thoughts about this week's performance?
I mean, I'm happy with what I did. I'm glad Chuck actually won and I didn't lose it. And Don is just, God, he just brings the pain. I love it.
Brings the pain.
The pain of having to listen?
No. Shivey with the bribey that is gold.
Going to have Don record our commercial spots for us now. We don't need to hire out. We've got Don. And Don, you, first time on the panel this week. First of all, please tell the listening audience what you're wearing because it's wonderful.
I'm wearing the SNL Cheerleaders Will Ferrell Spartans outfit. Woo! Go! Oh, my God, it's Baxter. He's looking at me. Ah!
I love it.
That was the last thing I needed to see.
So excited. Well, besides the wonderful attire that you're wearing, Don, I mean, you survived. I know you were a little nervous, you're a little whatever coming onto the panel. I mean, you survived. So how do you think your first time went?
Well, 10 has a 0 in it, so I'm very happy. And, I think if we
I knew you'd find a way to relate it back.
If we accidentally drop that 1, then I feel like I've accomplished something. No, it was a lot of fun.
So if you bribe you the Shivey, we'll see what happens here.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me on.
You're very welcome.
And it was a blast. Thanks,
absolutely.
Guys.
Well, thank you, everybody. Well, What's the Score has been a production of the Sports Quotient, Sports Radio America, and Spreaker.com. Thank you to our contestants and studio audience here at the BLC Studios. Our panelists this week have been Chuck Kreckel, Don Wadewitz, and Nick Zurich. Our social media team this week, contestant and executive director, is Liz Colburn and Christian Gill. Our theme was composed by Danny Hoffenstein. Our media producer is Eric Condia. Our sound engineer is Kurt Colburn. And our executive producer is Corey Plath.
I've been your game master, Josh Scheibe.
And I've been your host, Baxter Colburn. Mark your calendars, March 18th at Crossway Church in Germantown. Come see us live in person. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you all next time on What's the Score?